Melee has always been one of the most unique and polarizing playstyles in the finals. It's fast, it's risky, and unlike anything else in the game, for some of us, it's a creative challenge, and for others, it's a frustrating gimmick. But no matter where you stand, one thing is clear. The state of Melee right now is worse than it has ever been. This video is not about bashing the devs or farming outrage. It's a look at the full picture. How we got here, how the community feels, and what the future might hold. Because while Melee has had its moments of power, the overall trend has been a slow decline through patches, bugs, and design decisions that often feel like afterthoughts. I've spent over 2,000 hours in this game with more than 1,500 of those hours on Riot Shield. I've stuck with Melee through every stage of its evolution. I'm not here to complain, I'm here to document. To lay it all out clearly so that players, creators, and yes, maybe even Embark can see the history of Melee not just through the highlight clips, but through context. Whether you're a long-time Melee main or a ranked player tired of dealing with overpowered and broken weapons full of bugs, or you're just curious about the community's division on this subject, this video is for you. Over the past week, I dropped into the streams of over 20 top-ranking competitive players and asked them all the same question. What do you think of the state of Melee heading into the majors, and why? Over 70% of them told me flat out that Melee has no place in ranked or that it should be banned entirely. The other 30% said it needs serious fixing and that as of right now, it's either a throw pick or completely overpowered with no consistent middle ground. The reasons they gave me were surprisingly consistent. First, Melee is buggy and unreliable. Everything from phantom strikes to buggy hitboxes and the varying experience that you have from match to match is just not fun. Second, its power level swings too hard. It's either a liability or it dominates a lobby when things glitch in your favor. There's no version of Melee that's balanced, just broken in opposite directions depending on the day. Another big complaint is gimmicks. Most Melee loadouts rely on cheesy strats or niche mechanics that force teams to play hard counters just to deal with them. That frustrates players who prefer consistent gun-based playstyles. And finally, there's a culture clash. A lot of the finals takes place in tight indoor spaces, prime real estate for Melee players who thrive on movement, timing, and positioning. But when those players outmaneuver aim-heavy builds, it's often seen as ratty or undeserved. That resentment builds, especially in ranked, where one unexpected shield flank can tilt an entire match. So with all that context in mind, the community frustration, the inconsistency, and the growing push for a potential ban on Melee and ranked, it's important for us to understand how we got here in the first place, because this did not happen overnight. This next section breaks down every patch that's impacted Melee since launch. It's wordy, it's technical, and I move fast, but it's the clearest way to show you how one of the game's most unique playstyles got nerfed, broken, and overlooked again and again. If you're not into the nitty-gritty, I totally get it. There's a timestamp below if you'd rather skip ahead. But if you care about Melee or just want to see the full picture, this is the history you need to see. To help keep things digestible, I've added a tally counter to track each patch's positive or negative impact on Melee. And spoilers, the scales are way off. Alright, and without further ado, let's start all the way back at the beginning in Season 1. Update 1.4 came and fixed a bug where Riot Shield could block bullets while interacting, and fixed a bug where Goo Grenade could block players, as well as started nerfing C4. The mid-season patch 1.6 brought with it a lot of changes, but the one we're going to look at here is where they fixed an exploit where Melee weapons could be swung faster than intended. Update 2.0, the beginning of Season 2 came, and with it, we got Anti-Grav Cube, Data Reshaper, Dematerializer, and Gateway. This was also the beginning of the increase in projectile speed to throwing knives, which kinda went poorly. Update 2.1 brought a change where glitch traps and glitch grenades impacted immediately when they hit a mesh shield or a dome shield. Update 2.2 brought with it a change to glitch, where it no longer affected for 10 seconds and was down to 5 seconds, as well as a buff to several weapons, none of them being Melee. Update 2.3 reduced the recoil on the FAMAS. This was the first of the recoil reductions. Update 2.4 fixed an issue where Riot Shield would not trigger mines. This was the saddest day in Riot Shield history. Update 2.5 made some meaningful changes to Data Reshape, trying to make it more useful, but it was still not even in a playable state at this time. Mid-season patch 2.6 brought an upgrade for the KS-23, making it more accurate. Glitch grenades were now able to patch through shields, and the stun gun got its first slight nerf. They also added a change where swapping when quick meleeing will now instantly cancel the quick melee animation, which brings in some of the first questions on whether or not animation canceling is actually allowed or not. Yet again, we're confused and we don't have answers. Update 2.8 brought a new carryable to the arena, the glitch barrel. Update 2.10 brought two changes. APS turrets now had a health pool, and throwing knives got another buff that put them one step closer to being the issue the community had problems with in the following season. Season 3 came and brought with it terminal attack. We don't have to talk about it. On top of that, we also got bow, dual blades, and spear, little controversial, thermal bore, and winch claw as well. Lights and medium got a decrease in their health regeneration time. Goo gun now blocked evasive dash and movement specializations. Data reshaper got a buff. Glitch trap got reworked into glitch mines. Goo grenades got the same treatment as goo gun, and stun gun got a buff. On top of that, pretty much every weapon in the game except melee got a buff. Patch 3.1, LH1 got a nerf, throwing knives got a nerf, and winch claw got a nerf. Update 3.3, Ruby rank got added to terminal attack. Woo! Update 3.4 changed the way that explosive damage registered on all gadgets and weapons. Update 3.6, Goo grenade got a buff. Dash got a nerf. Update 3.10, Goo grenade got nerfed back down, and throwing knives finally got a nerf that they needed. Season 4 came, and with it brought 3 new weapons, the Akimbo, the Pike, and the Matter. On top of that, we also got new sponsors seasonally, which was a great addition to the game, and I absolutely love it. Several weapons got quality of life upgrades, including Riot Shield and Bow. Sword and throwing knives both got a quality of life upgrade. They tried to give a quality of life upgrade to the dagger, but it really was a nerf. And CL40 got buffed to a point that we all hated it. Goo gun became fully automatic, and the RPG finally got nerfed. Flashbangs got a buff, glitch trap got nerfed, explosive mines got a nerf, and data reshaper got a buff. Update 4.2, CL40 nerf, Pike nerf, V9S rework. Update 4.4, they tried to fix the sledgehammer hitbox, but we all know that it's still buggy. Update 4.5, they started tuning down the model, but this nerf wasn't enough. Update 4.6 came, and with it, Sword got a nerf, as well as Pike receiving its second nerf of the season. Update 4.9 came with a rework for the model, adding a center pellet, which was supposed to be a bit of a nerf, but let's all be honest, that's not really quite how that worked out. Season 5. This season we got the Shack, we got the Cerberus. On top of that, we also got new sights and a reduction in visual recoil. We also got 2 new gadgets, the Gravity Vortex and the Lockbolt Launcher. Both of these, unfortunately, were kind of anti-melee. Smoke Grenade got added to all classes. This actually benefited melee. Unfortunately, Zipline and Jump Pad got a nerf in the form of a cooldown increase. This negatively affected melee. Most weapons got a bit of a quality of life upgrade, including dual blades and spear, surprisingly. Gateway now destroys goo when activated. Jump Pad was no longer able to be picked up when you're using it. This was good. Update 5.4 fixed an issue where the Charge and Slam could hit you an infinite amount of times inside of a gravity vortex. This was huge. Update 5.6 removed exploits on Spear and Sword and gave quality of life changes to Dual Blade and Dagger. Update 5.8, Lockbolt Launcher got reworked to a point where it was more viable again. This meant that we started seeing it more. Update 5.9, Dagger got a nerf in the form of a backstab angle decrease, and KS23 got a buff. Update 5.10, Frag Grenades got nerfed, Stun Gun got disabled. Update 5.12, Model got nerfed, and Bow got a slight upgrade. Season 6 came and brought with it 3 new guns and no new melee weapons. We got the Arn, the Repeater, and the minigun. We got expanded privacy options, and we got a couple changes to gadgets, mostly nerfs. Winchclaw got a rework. Once again, pretty much every weapon in the game received a quality of life upgrade or a buff of some kind. Unfortunately, Dagger was the only melee weapon that received one. The rest of the melee got left behind in this patch, and it didn't feel great. There was a bunch of new sights that were added, which again, mostly came across as buffs for the guns. Update 6.1, Arn got an increase in damage. Update 6.3, Sword got nerfed into the ground. This was needed, but still sad to see. Update 6.4, the minigun got a buff, making it more accurate and easier to use. The mid-season patch came for Season 6 and brought with it a bunch of changes to weapons, adjusting and altering different stats, mostly buffing these weapons. Unfortunately, none of the melee got anything meaningful from this patch. Update 6.9, Kyoto Water no longer sucks ass. It's actually usable. Arn and Famas both got a buff in the form of recoil control. KS23 and M11 both got a buff. XP got a rework that kind of felt like a buff. Melee weapons got improved hit sweeps and hit registration, as well as a change in the way that Riot Shield blocks by not allowing melee weapons to go through solid objects anymore. This was supposed to be an increase in quality of life for melee players, But me and the entirety of my Melee community have been doing testing, and all of us are in consensus that this update actually messed up Melee to a point that most of us find it basically unplayable. So after looking through all of that patch history, let's break down what it actually means. Across every patch that's touched Melee in a way, I counted 25 changes that positively impacted Melee and 45 that negatively impacted it. That doesn't mean that every single one was unjustified. Many of those negative changes were exploit removals, and I want to be clear, removing exploits is a good thing, they need to go. But here's the problem. While exploits were being patched out of Melee, gunplay was getting polished. Weapons across the board were receiving balance tweaks, quality of life improvements, smoother animations, while Melee was just losing tools, many of which were the only ways it could compete in higher level lobbies. If you look at the trends, the philosophy seems to be split. Guns are balanced against each other, with skill expression being the biggest differentiator. But off-meta tools like Melee aren't part of that ecosystem, they're balanced through hard counters. And Melee suffers the worst from that. There's a long list of weapons that absolutely shut down Melee. Flamethrowers, CL40, MGL, LH1, Pike, SA12, Double Barrel, and many more. These weapons don't just counter Melee, they invalidate it in many cases. I also want to preface that some of the hard counters were also other Melee. Sword and Hammer made me take a break from the game because my class was functionally unplayable. That's not counterplay, that's a rock, paper, shotgun situation, and I'm not here for it. If we're going to use that philosophy where some weapons have hard counters, then shouldn't it be applied across the board? But it isn't. Gun builds rarely have hard counters, so why should Melee? It just doesn't make sense. Of course, Melee should never be meta. It's off meta for a reason. High risk, high reward. It should have a high skill floor and an even higher skill ceiling. You should need hundreds, even thousands of hours to be competitive with it, and that's fine. That's good design. But it should still be viable at the highest levels of play, especially in ranked, and right now it's not. We're heading into the $100,000 major tournament, and Melee players, many of whom fell in love with the finals specifically because of Melee, are sitting on weapons that feel worse than ever. We're not asking for buffs to make Melee dominant, we're asking for stability, balance, and the ability to compete without hard counters by half the roster. I want gun players to enjoy their experience, I want the game to be competitive, fast, and fun for everyone, but I also want the community and Embark to recognize that Melee has slowly been left behind, not out of malice, but just out of neglect. And all we're asking is this: give us the same shot everyone else has. Let us enjoy our playstyle without feeling like we're punished for choosing it. Let us be part of the game we care about because we're still here, still trying, and still swinging. At the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing: a better game. Gun players want Melee to be consistent so they can counter it reliably. Melee players want consistency so we can compete at all. No one wants to queue into ranked with a teammate using a broken, buggy weapon, and most of us don't want to play against one either. Sure, some people enjoy steamrolling with something overtuned, but deep down we all know that kind of imbalance isn't healthy for a competitive game. And I really believe the whole community is actually on the same side here. We all want Melee fixed, not to dominate the meta, but to be balanced, viable, and fair. Off-meta picks like Melee should take real time and effort to master, but that effort should be rewarded, not punished. So this is a call out, not in anger, but in solidarity. I want to open the floor for honest, respectful conversation. What does healthy Melee look like to you? What would balance look like that feels fair for both sides? Whether you're tired of getting flanked by hammers or getting roasted by flamethrowers. Some people only play the finals for Melee. Some want it gone entirely, but most of us just want to enjoy the game without feeling like the other side is ruining our experience. And I think we can get there if we're willing to talk about it together. So drop a comment, share your take, and be kind, be honest, and let everyone have a voice. Because at the end of the day, we all love the same game and we all want it to thrive. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, consider sticking around, subscribe and drop a like down below. We're just getting started, and hopefully with a little love from Embark and a lot of passion from the community, we'll see Melee get to a place where it's actually balanced and everybody can enjoy the game. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.